a kid who wasn't deaf. My son will come home with a thingy around his neck with a sign to say, I'm happy, I'm sad. What are you, a kid that can speak? Why are you using a sign language to communicate to them? They were trying to say that, when they speak to him, he's still doing the opposite. So he probably done that. So they were using a sign language. Can you imagine? These people actually need to go to the ombudsman. They're a terrible nursery. I'm sorry, I'm being angry, but I just feel so strongly about parents that are out there that are just wanting help for their children, that are wanting good for their kids. And you have people sitting in jobs that they don't want to do. They have stereotypical ideas. They have prejudice about people, and they sit there and everything they see, instead of taking children for who they are, they don't see them as kids. They see them as whatever preconceived ideas they've got in their head. So my son went to this new nursery. And he stayed at home for a month, and then he went after April, and he could only be there because he had to be in reception in September. So he could only be there for a few months. And oh my God, those 4 or 5 months he was there, it was only on 2 occasions that I was ever told when I picked him up that something had happened. And even that, it was someone who had done something to him and he reacted. 4 or 5 months of no bad report. If you're a parent and your kid, you're not happy with how your child is being handled, you have this inkling that what they're saying to you is not right, seek a second opinion. I asked them, do you think my son has any underlying condition? And mind you, this nursery, of course, is in a hospital, so they're very specialized. And I'm asking them, is there anything? Do you sense anything? Do you pick anything? No, there wasn't one. They looked at those reports that I sent them and they were like, who wrote these reports about this child? So if I had actually gone with them, the first nursery, and I've actually allowed them to refer my son, do you get what I would have been doing to this poor boy? We're supposed to be safeguarding our children. Trust me, not all the professionals out there know what they're doing. I'm a healthcare professional myself, and I'm sorry to say this, but I have had it on the other side too, and it's terrible. It can't be worse. So this new nursery had him, he was fine. And then he had to go to reception in September of last year. And again, I was praying. I was so worried. I was beside myself. Him going to the nursery, because I was thinking, what is he going to do there? He went there in September. And as I'm making this video, we are in February 2025. There has been no report. No, not even one, of where he's misbehaved, he's acted out of character. Actually, he's the sweetest boy in the class. And in October, actually, they had an assessment and I went. And obviously, because he'd moved nurseries, didn't start nursery early, and all that chaos was happening, he didn't really get a chance to learn anything. So he was a little behind. So when I went October 2024 to have the parents' meeting with the nursery, they said that, okay, your son, blah, 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 he needs to develop in this and develop in that. And as a mother, I was like, okay, that's great. And I think the reason why I'm making this video, and I know it's a long story, I'm so sorry, but the reason why I'm making this video is that, when I got told in October the things that he needed to work on, and I invested that time, every evening of the week, we'll spend an hour, half an hour if he's tired, to do some reading, to do his number blocks, to get him up to scratch, to just talk about, his class and what's happening and behaviors and all that. Do you know today, I've literally, and I'm still in my, in my jacket, I came back from meeting his teacher just half an hour ago, and my heart is extremely overjoyed. I wish you could see how excited I am. He's met all his targets. I had the sheet, I was looking for it, but I think I left it downstairs. He's met all his targets. He's got new target sets for spring. He's doing amazing at reading. He's doing great at maths. This is a boy that, if I had allowed those people in that awful nursery have labeled him, would have been going down a different path. We are parents. We need to safeguard our children. We really need to safeguard our children against, people who just don't know what they're doing. People who have no passion for the role that they do. Because if you meet a teacher, if you meet a nursery, nursery nurse or whatever, who has passion for kids, you see them, and you see the one that always fobs off. They think they know, but they know nothing. That is that nursery. And it's just how do you as a professional even sleep? I asked her, the manager, one time, I said, how do you sleep as a manager when you're constantly giving negative feedback? Does it not bother you? Does it not bother you? Are you not human? Because if you're human and you're constantly having to tell a parent that, your son is this, your son is that, and there's never a good feedback. You could start with, oh, he's good at this, he's good at that, he's working on this part, or he's done A, B, C, D, but he's doing good. He's we did this and he's met it, at least there has to be some feedback. Safeguard your children, safeguard your grandchildren, safeguard your nieces and nephews, because not everybody out there in these roles know what they're doing. And actually, if you do not believe any diagnosis that they're giving you, if you're doubting everything, and not when you're in denial, because of course sometimes as humans we are in denial, but when you have that inkling, when you have that strong sense that it's actually not true, or you're doubting it, so you need another professional, please seek a second opinion, because what I did has helped my son immensely. And even if there's anything that is identified that is working on, like I said, spending that time, even if it's just half an hour every day on that child and helping them and retraining them, I know it takes a lot of time, and I know all of them will not be able to come out of it and do great, but investing that time, trust me, eventually it will pay off. Even if it's just the tiniest improvement, that is improvement. Don't let anybody sit in their job roles and tell you that you as a parent don't know what is good for your child. Don't let anybody tell you that you don't know what is good for your child. And I'm so excited that I stood for my son. And I'll speak up for any mother. But as for that nursery, I think they need to go to the ombudsman. They need looking into. But anyway, when I took my son or my kids out of there, I heard that they've been taken over by new management. So I'm hoping that the children there are getting the best care that they need. But it's so sad that, there's so much stereotype out there that, it's a black kid, so it has to be aggressive. It's a Caucasian kid, so it has to be this. It's that kid, so it has to be that. That is not what we are. You're a mother, you're a mother. You're a nursery nurse, you're a nursery nurse. You're a nurse, you're a nurse. You're a healthcare professional, you're a healthcare professional. You have to see people for who they are and not what your prejudice think that they are.